I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today. And remember, true wealth begins with good health. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Telehealth Tuesday. This is your go-to podcast for insights of modern health and wellness solutions. I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt, your host for this evening's show. And tonight, as we always do, we have an amazing episode lined up just for you. We want to give our sincere apologies for starting so far behind schedule, but as you all know, duty calls, and so we had two emergencies at the in the hospital, and just pray for these families. A lady who we thought was having an acute stroke, and a man who had to get placed back on mechanical ventilation, or as they say, life support. So literally just got done talking with his wife. And so we're running a little bit behind, but nevertheless, we're going to get in there. We're going to have an amazing show, as we always do. Our guest is eagerly waiting in the backstage. So let's get right to it. I do want to let you know that Telehealth Tuesday can be viewed on multiple platforms. Most importantly, our YouTube channel, which is Dr. B TV. That's the word Dr. DOCTOR. The letter B is in boy, TV, on YouTube, and also our clinic information, Good Faith Wellness Center. Make sure to share, tag, like, follow, and most importantly, with the YouTube page, click subscribe. Also, as far as Good Faith Wellness Center, we are taking new patients. And if you have insurance, great. If you don't have insurance, still great. $99 a month. So if you don't have insurance, $99 a month, which is cheaper than your cell phone bill, you can come and see yours truly there, and we will take amazing care of you and your family. So that would be per person, $99, or $179 for a couple, and $229 for a family of four. That's unlimited visits, and that would be a monthly recurring charge. And so that does not include your labs, and also that is not a substitution for health insurance. So don't show up at UMC or Baptist or St. Dominic saying I got the Bookhardt or the Good Faith Wellness Center plan, because you'll be turned around. Okay. All right. All right. So let's get right to it. Shantwanna Macklin, with over 25 years of experience in healthcare, Shantwanna Macklin has dedicated her career to caring for others across medical and surgical units, behavioral health, long-term care settings. She's a passionate advocate for mental and emotional wellness. She brings both professional expertise and deep personal insight to conversations about healing and transformation. Today, Shantwanna is a powerful voice for women who are ready to heal. She loves speaking about the journey of becoming, helping women release emotional baggage, rediscover their true identity, and build healthier relationships with themselves and others. Through her work, she empowers women to move from surviving to thriving. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to waste any more time. I want to bring out this next guest, Miss Shantwanna Macklin. You've seen her here, there, everywhere, all sorts of places. She's in your neighborhood, in your church, and all that. So I want you to hear from the woman herself, the myth, the legend, Shantwanna Macklin. Give it to her.
Dr. Hart, thank you. It's a pleasure and an honor to be on your platform.
Awesome.
Thank
Well, the
you.
pleasure. Absolutely. The pleasure is all ours. We got right meow. Insurance is a scam. Oh Lord. And LANT is good. Good evening to all. What made you do YouTube? Well, YouTube has an amazing platform. So we wanted to be across all platforms, and we didn't want to discriminate. So that's a great question to you, Mary McAllister. But that's why we did it, because it's a great platform. You can also get monetized when you get to a certain point, just like the rest of them. But I just like YouTube overall. So, Shan, what's going on? How
Hey, it's
are you
nothing but
feeling?
becoming wellness and wholeness over here, my brother. That's it. Making you better than what you were yesterday.
That's what,
1% every day at a time.
absolutely.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, we'll get right to it, since we told the audience I hate that because of these emergencies we were running late. So we'll get right to it. But is there anything that you would like for the audience to know um, about yourself, or what you're maybe working on, or something like that that we neglected to mention?
Well, right now I'm working on the platform where it's living single with Shan Mack. Um, I too am living single, and I truly feel like can't been there, can't tell, been there how to get there. So when we're on the same road, we're on the same
Say
path.
that again, please.
Can't been there, can't tell,
Okay,
been there how to get there. That's an old saying.
man,
But
I like that.
I say that because I've always wanted to be one that it's something about substance. You know, hey, we can go to school, we can get the books, we can get the knowledge. But there's something about going through a process and a journey and walking through it. It holds more weight, it has more substance. So, for me, being on my personal journey of being a single mother of two, hey, being above, being in dysfunction as a child, I've been
Hmm.
through a lot of different things. There are a lot of different things that I had to work out and become aware of, and on that journey of healing and growth. So, hey, I'm the one that I'm trying to pass it on to the next. That's it. To be a better,
Man,
to be
I
better.
love that. Yeah, I love that for you. Um, well, let's get right to our prepared questions, and then I think as we have questions from the audience, we'd love to get to those. And Sharon, you're okay to stay with us until 8:30 if we
Oh,
can
for
do the full
sure.
hour. Are you okay?
You got
Okay,
me,
all
Doc.
right, awesome, awesome. We hope that you guys stay with us as well. Okay, so don't go anywhere. All right. So,
Okay.
what would you say, Sharon? Is first question that's come in. What is the biggest mistake that some people make when looking for love and meaningful relationships?
First off, there is chasing potential from a partner. There's also um, people tend to do that. They tend to see someone that they like, and you're chasing potential, thinking that that person is going to be something better. So that's number one. The fixation of when you're meeting someone. That's number one when we meet someone, because we everybody longs to have their person. We're looking at now where it's women versus men, but we all need each other. So that is the number one thing. And putting standards in the wrong place. That's number two. So a lot of times that comes from what your perception is. And perception, it just depends on if you're not healthy, if you're going through a lot of different things in transition, you haven't did the work, your main objective is in all the wrong places. And sometimes those minor things that we're looking at and we highlighting, whether it's the aesthetics of a person, their finances, who they are. That
Mhm.
doesn't mean that their integrity lines up, their character lines up. And we get so fixated on the fixation of the facade that we forget those important things.
Hmm. We sorry, a couple of questions are coming in there. I'm trying to. Okay, there we go. So we don't get interrupted there. Okay, there we go. So oh, there's Keisha Newell. There she is. We were hoping she
Hey,
didn't. There
hey, my
she is.
girl. Thanks
What's
for
going
tuning
on?
in, Keisha.
Absolutely. We're glad to see you always. Um, so you think that you're saying that people are chasing the potential. So are you saying that the person who's doing the chasing is looking at it incorrectly, or could it be that they're being fooled by other people showing up with their representative and not their true self?
And that's true. Now, women may agree to disagree, but a lot of times, and see, with me, with healing comes accountability. And so
Hmm.
and ladies, you may disagree with me, but hey, It is what it is. Women a lot of times shows off their representative more than they do their who they are. So I think
Mm.
I was telling somebody one day, I was like, you can really like this man. And you say, oh, I really like him. And he'll say, well, I like hibachi. I love rice. You say, well, you like him so much. I like rice too.
I like
Or I
right. Yeah.
like to go here. I love this. Well, I love this too. And we tend to, if we like someone, to say, this is what I like. So instead of you, if you're not intentional about who you are, that's why it's important to know who you are. And we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
When you do not know who you are, you tend to do that because you scared to be vulnerable and tell the truth of who you truly are. I'm one that now I used to be that girl, but I'm like, hibachi's okay today, but I don't like to eat rice every day. I don't like this every day, but I am willing to compromise. And sometimes with women, we will do that. And when we do it, eventually 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the line, a year down the line, you always want to go here. You always want to go. Well, you knew that about that man when he took you there.
Knew that
He was
from day
like,
one.
men are what I've learned. Men are just who they are. Where hey, you didn't have a problem with it when we got together. They don't
That's right.
think like we do. So to that own self, be true. That is something that you have to be transparent about when you're dating, your likes and your dislikes. But you can say, hey, I'm willing to compromise. But I like more so of a secluded setting. If she's a book girl, she may say, well, I like to maybe just have coffee and go to Barnes and Nobles and have coffee and read this. Allow that man to know some of the things that you like. That way he has a choice. So I'm that you're giving a false representation. And false representation is also manipulation because you're trying to manipulate that man to choose you. And
Mm.
that's not it.
Wow. How often do you think this happens? Like, how often does this happen? And by the way, we're not trying to be tonight's conversation, and we're not
No,
trying to
we're
just
not.
be like a data. Yeah, but because I know we're talking about relationship, but this could even be with same sex, like just a buddy, like a male buddy or
Oh, for
home
sure.
girl, something like that. Do you feel like this happens in multiple settings? How often does this
It
stuff occur?
does. It also starts in childhood with wanting to be accepted by friends. You may be one that don't drink, don't smoke, but you'll go to a party knowing that this is not what I like. This is something that as a childhood, that's why it's so important as parents having children to let your child know who they are and speak life into them, to know that you don't have to be a crash dummy. You don't have to do that.
They
It's
crash.
okay to be yourself and find your own tribe that speaks your own language. And once you teach them that, and that's something that I really didn't get a chance to get as a child, but once you get into that, you will grow into knowing that I'm not that. I don't fit in with that. And then it's okay that if you beat that guy and say, hey, you're a good guy, you're just not my guy because we don't speak the same language. And there's nothing wrong with that. And when once people become honest with themselves, they'll stop pointing the finger at what he or she did and focus more on them. And
Mhm.
that only comes into play when you self-aware of knowing who you are.
That's right. Absolutely. Want to give a big shout out to Ware Family Dental out here in Grenada, Mississippi. Dr. Latanya Ware, thank you so much for joining us. She said we've got a lot of pick Mishas. Is that I know I
Oh
heard people saying a
yes.
lot of pick
A lot of
a lot of
pygmies
pick
in the
Misha.
house.
All right, I haven't heard that one before. The pick
Oh
Mishas.
yeah. It's a lot of
Um,
pygmies. Pick me, pick me. But
that's right,
when you, like I said, when you don't know who you truly are, you tend to be a pygmy.
a pick Misha. We're live on Instagram land. Hello, I see Dr. Claude Brunson is there. Uh, One of the amazing physicians and executive leaders, UMC. Academy uh, medicine and there for the state. So we thank you for joining us. I'm not sure if you can hear us on there, Dr. Brunson. We having some lag time things going on, some issues, but shout out to you and all your leadership and all your years of service in the state of Mississippi. I see Kay Nonchalant in there. Welcome. Good evening.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you got look you. I got that. We need to feature you more often. You're bringing everyone out. You know,
I got some
even
powerful women on the board, baby.
yes, yes, indeed. That's love. That
No
is
doubt.
love.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So we want you all to know that we're live. So we want to hear from you guys. Okay. So feel free, even though we have several prepared questions, we want to hear from you guys because this is not just about us and or being talking heads and political pundits and all that. We want to hear from you guys. What are the topics you want to talk about? We're here. If it's anything medical, I'm going to help with that. If it's things about experience and how to deal with childhood traumas and everything, we want to hear from you. And we're also going to hear from Shan and whatever it is that she's comfortable with telling you guys. She's going to talk about some of her struggles and that have turned into triumphs and some things she's working on. So, with that said, let's go to our next question that's come in. How can someone tell the difference between genuine love and emotional attachment?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
So,
Mhm.
genuine love. First off, you love without fear, because the word said love comes without fear. So, first off, it's rooted in freedom. There's something about genuine love that someone is compassionate about you, is unselfish. It's not going wanting, no premeditated motives. It's that person just allowing you to have the freedom to be you, to know those flaws and to know that you're flawed. And that takes discernment. That takes tapping into yourself. And I have something that I pray. I always ask the Lord, and I don't know if everybody, but hey, I'm a believer. Lord, allow me to see what the devil don't want me to see. Because
Mm. Amen.
sometimes the counterfeit always come before the real thing.
Mm.
So love has no type of fear. It's just like a friendship. When we meet people that are our friends and we meet them and we're so for me growing up, I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking from my own personal experience. I had a
Okay.
problem with being intimacy. Intimacy is just not always about sex between a woman or a man about sex. Intimacy is seeing into me. I had a problem with I used to compartmentalize people to a point to where I never really showed them who I truly was. And I would have friends and they would know me, but there were certain parts of me that they didn't know. They knew the party girl, they knew Shan the cigar smoker, Shan the tequila with tonic with lime. They know that Shan.
Come on, somebody.
um,
Come on,
but they
somebody.
never knew the Shan that I never allowed them to see into me. Not even my parents. There
Hmm.
were certain things because of childhood trauma, because of the disappointment and some of the letdowns and different things. And I also knew that they could only give me what they had. My parents had me early, in their teenagers. So they did the best they had with what they had. So with that, what I learned in healing was sometimes when you find people that are safe to talk to, your nervous system will let you know.
Hmm.
Everybody is not mature enough to handle you in your humanity. But is there something about finding those people that you're safe, you feel like you can open up to? That is the whole thing about that, about what real love is, because you know that they mean well and they're going to give you constructive criticism and you will take it from them. It's just like you whooping a child, your child you love. You may chastise them and whoop them, but then
Mhm.
they'll come back 30 minutes later and be like, "Oh, mama, daddy, I just love you," because they know truly that mom and dad love them. So that's the same thing with us with our friendships. So
Mm.
love casts out all fears. It's not selfish.
Mhm.
It allows you the freedom to be who you are, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and also just allow you to be you and not be judgmental towards whatever it is that you have to say. That's the difference between
That's right.
love. But now, when it comes down to
Absolutely.
emotional attachment,
Mhm.
it comes with
Mhm.
conditions. It comes with it comes with a lot because you're trying to compromise who you are, or you have to manipulate that situation in order for it to work for you. That's the difference between attachment and emotional issues, and more so trauma bonding. A lot of that. So it's based off conditions when it comes to emotional attachment. It's because maybe this woman is so clingy.
Okay.
Oh, she's so loving, but maybe she's just so clingy because the fact that she's scared of being alone. She's afraid
Mm.
of doing things wrong to be accepted. And that is what
Wow.
emotional attachment does versus love. It doesn't give you the
Wow.
freedom to be.
I appreciate that answer. That was I think we definitely all got that. I think you hit the nail on the head. Let's go to a couple of these comments. Shane, can you see that? We've got Keita Humphreys who
I
says,
can't see it.
yeah, can you see it? We'll put it on the screen. The enemy will send a decoy before the real McCoy. And
That's right.
another comment was into me equals seeing into me. Keita
Correct.
Humphreys, are you in the counseling field, or what's your occupation, if you don't mind sharing with the audience, Keita Humphreys? And in the meantime, our good friend Keisha Newell, shout out to I think Shan, let's give a round of applause to our friend Keisha, who is
Keisha.
always showing up,
Shout out
and
to the girl.
yeah, she's showing up for everybody. She goes to LNA Event Center. Shout
I
out to them
love it.
over there, Mr. Tripp. She also comes to Trio for Cigar Thursdays, and which is something that we put together. And I think she's only missed about. I mean, I count every time you're not there, Keisha. So I'm up to 3 or 4 now. If I get to 5, it's going to be a problem. No, I'm just joking. All right, but her question is, why is it that some women stay in a relationship or situation that they know is not good for them?
That is deeply rooted. Everything about us stems from our childhood trauma. Our subconscious mind sometimes hides trauma and different things that have happened to us. It could
Hmm.
be daddy issues. It could be mother issues. It could be something that person that you're with, or he or she is with, may give you something. When they say breadcrumb,
Hmm.
some people are not used to. God say, "Hey, I go to prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies." There's different things. Some
Yes,
people
Lord.
are just used to being breadcrumb. They used to eating the crumbs from the table. When you can say, "Hey, I know who I am," that is a lack of a lot of times of people not knowing who they are and setting to their standards. And the problem is that when you do that, and that's for women and men, when you do that, you don't know who you are. Because if you truly know who you are, um, you will say, fork down, and I've been in that situation. But I'm like, this person has no substance. They can't feed me. And then, but when you spend time with yourself and you know who you are, you know that when you're trying to find your person, and God, one thing about God, He'll show you a little bit of the promised land of where you're going. And a lot
Mm.
of times with people, we meet seasonal people and try to want to make them permanent. And that is a dead giveaway. And that is
Mm.
not, if that person does not align with your future, that is not your person. So if you want to sell out, it depends on you and
So
what
you
your standards are and who, you want what you want out of life.
Can you say that again, Shan, please? That person is not your person. If I want to make sure that was clear, that everyone
Yeah.
heard that.
He may not be your person. Sometimes good things will come at the wrong time, or that the things of certain things about life, you may be like, um, this person is a good person to have fun with. I enjoy, he makes me laugh. But there's something about when I need to really talk about something and this person can't see me, they don't know. Because one thing about intentional people, I have friends and I can be on the phone with them and I say, hey, you sound frustrated. What's going on with you? Your voice don't sound. That's because I've taken time to get to know that person. And sometimes we want to settle for a good time. But that good time gal and that good time boy, it doesn't fit your future. So sometimes you have to walk away. I walked away from relationships crying. I did not want to leave, but I know it was detrimental to me and it wasn't good for my future. And I know that I would die if I stayed there spiritually. So
This is I can definitely appreciate that, and I think we can all definitely relate to that. I'm sure all of us have probably stayed somewhere. Can't
too
stay
long.
too long. I got
That's
to keep
it.
moving.
All
We
right.
won't finish the rest of that song, but we I think we all can identify with that. I don't know. Can you see those comments? We got Shell's Kitchen. Give it up for Shell's Kitchen, everyone. Give it up. Let's get the audience. Give it up for Shell's Kitchen.
Thanks for
Shell's
tuning in,
Kitchen.
Cheryl. We
Yeah,
appreciate
I'm getting hungry already. And a lot of people don't know, on a lighter note, that you truly enjoy, just on a quick lighter note, with a quick digression, you truly enjoy cooking. And recently you had some delicious, there was a
you.
glaze on a chicken that I don't even want to tell them about, because I don't want too many people taking my glazed chicken. Okay, come on,
Oh
somebody.
man, you get plenty great chicken. Don't worry about it. They can't take your spot, Doc.
But yeah, Michelle's Kitchen is amazing. So you guys make sure to visit her page and go and support her. Keita Humphreys did answer. She said, "Yes, I am a counselor." We're going to have you on, Keita. We're going to do this again, and maybe we'll do a roundtable, and we
Mhm.
might even invite my big brother, that crazy Kanoy. Maybe we'll have him in there and help to
Yeah,
spearhead
bring
this
on
thing.
canola on in here.
Yeah, co-host it. So Keita, let us know if you're interested, or if you're, well, you know what, you don't even have to worry about giving permission, because I've already drafted you, so you're in, you're coming on the show. Thanks. All right. She says the right thing at the wrong time is still the wrong thing.
All right, I'm with you when you're right, girl. You right.
That's right. K says insecurities and fears keep people in places where they should not be. And Ty says sometimes we attract at the level that we're at. We don't want to see how we can be better, but we want others to be better for us. That's deep, man.
That's
Let,
deep, brother.
let me
That's
read
deep.
that again. Ty says that sometimes we attract at the level that we're at. We don't want to see how we can be better, but we want others to be better for us. So that's more like what? See, do as I say and not as I do.
And that is so true what he's saying. And a lot of times that's the effects of past trauma. That is the one of the effects of past trauma. We tend to project. And I always tell people can't give you what they don't have. Do you?
Mm,
And Bishop T.D. Jake said something one time that really stuck with me. And he was talking about parenting. He said, what do you do when you're a half of a gallon person, but you birth a gallon sized kid? And I remember my mom telling me out of all
woo.
five of her children, she said, you're just weird. Out of all my children, I don't understand you. Shout out to my mom. I love my mama now. That's my girl.
Big shout.
But
Yep, and mine's on there too. I don't know if you saw it. Mine just joined a few
hey,
minutes
Mama Lily. Oh, we shout out to mom.
ago. Oh yeah.
But and I didn't. no, I didn't understand it until I became a parent. And I had a son to challenge me. Um, and there were some things that, as a parent, we're not always right. And because of our past traumas and things that we've been through, we tend to, that spores over into everything dealing with relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, everything that deals with relationships. And, so I always tell people that people can't give you what they don't have. Laws of attraction is real. At one point in time in my life, I used to love the thugs and the D boys. But my mindset changed. And once that mindset changed and I transitioned, I remember my spiritual mom. Shout out to Dr. Verkeitha Harris. That's my
Big
spiritual
shout
mom
out.
out in
Shout
Texas.
out.
Uh, I remember her telling me some hard truths one time that she was like, I was telling her what type of man that I would like. And she would always see more into me than I saw because at that time, when I met her, I was just starting the journey. And she said, the type of man that you desire wouldn't see you attractive, even though you are attractive. Because the laws of attraction is real and everything with us is spiritual. So I'm with Ty. Laws of attraction is real. And so now that I've surpassed that, there are people that may from the past, they may look and not say anything, or they may say, well, I know I'm a little bit out your league. But man, you just don't know. I'm just as hood as you once upon a time. I liked it, the guys like you once upon a time. But what it also taught me was that once my frequency went up, the I am what I attract. So that goes a lot when you're going through your self healing. Is that what we do is uh, we tend to not point fingers. We tend to say if something slipped through the crack, well, it wasn't what he did to me. Well, Shan, what was it about you that something happened that he saw in you that he thought that he maybe could play you like that? And it made me go deeper and meditate and ask God, what is it that I'm missing?
Mm-hmm.
And he had to reveal it to me. So is right. It is your frequency. And you can't expect to be here and then you're here because you and that man or that woman doesn't speak the same language. You're going to clash. I don't care how well you try to put it, you're going to clash.
So we've got another couple of comments. Michelle says you don't realize how deeply your past trauma still affects you today until you encounter something that triggers. Oh, wait a minute, something else came in. Until you encounter something that triggers the past trauma. And look, and before we even comment on that, I think that's an excellent point, Michelle. But let me go to the Instagram side. Daily dose of Demi. If you are you still on there? I know, like I said, it's kind of it's a lag period between going back and forth with IG, but daily dose of Demi. There's an inkling. Just read these, and if anyone wants to respond, there's an inkling of protection that they're not getting somewhere, which they gravitate towards. Yeah, she said
Yes.
there's an inkling of protection that they're not getting somewhere, which they gravitate towards. It causes them to hold on. Said the lack of knowing God. When you fully know God, you'll realize the flaws and shortcomings and have a spiritual wake up call. And once you wake up and know whose you belong to, then you never settle.
Come on, woman of God.
Hmm,
Hey, I'm with you when
that's
you're
deep.
right. Truth
But
facts.
and the thing is, and thank you so much for that, Demi. Again, we want people to know this is a live show, and we want you all to keep because we love this participation. I don't even have to go back to my prepared questions, so you guys keep them coming, please, because we're staying here another 30 minutes. We're here till 8:30, so y'all don't y'all stay right there and don't change that channel. This is a quick, shameless plug. For Telehealth Tuesday, each and every Tuesday, we're here for your listening and viewing pleasure and edification at 7 o'clock Central, right here, yours truly, with various guests, different guests, each and every Tuesday. And again, we're so lucky. We're lucky and we are blessed to have my friend, Shantwanna Macklin, right here with us in the building, in the virtual building, who is giving us some amazing nuggets. She's showing us an introspective journey on her life. And again, she's already kind of hit the surface of a few things and maybe even traumas. And I think that she's got some things that she still wants to unleash on us that can be so helpful for us to move in the days and years coming. So again, we're so grateful to have you here because you could be anywhere on a Tuesday night. You could even be a Taco Tuesday, and but instead you're here, right here with us on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook, joining us. So thank you for that. All right. And so our topic is we're not just talking about, again, relationships, but of course, that's always a hot topic. But we're also talking about how this affects community, and that's how it relates back to health. So if you're wondering, it is Telehealth Tuesday, but it's not always going to be just hypertension, diabetes. What we're talking about is community health and your personal and social health and your mental health. All right. Keisha Newell. Oh Lord. Where is Tim on here? Because me and Tim have a running joke about that word narcissism. The Lord. All right, Shan. Here. I knew somebody was gonna do this. Now, but Keisha, before I even read this question or comment, for some reason, and I don't want to stir the pot too much, Shan, but for some reason, the words narcissistic, okay, and accountability, they are always thrown around. Sometimes, especially narcissism, is used incorrectly, by the way, all the
It
time.
is.
Yeah, but the word narcissism and accountability is usually 95% a woman either talking to a man or describing a man. And for some reason, we love y'all, but our sisters are not held in themselves to the same standard. And a
True.
lot of y'all, or let me say them, are not accountable. And some of them express the narcissistic qualities themselves. I just wanted to put that out there, and y'all can, in your comments, you let me know what you think. But Keisha's saying, what are some narcissistic traits in both? Well, she said both men. Well, excuse me, Keisha. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. You're one in a
Both
million.
men and women.
Both men and women that you can identify early on in wait a minute, because when the comments come in, it knocks it. Okay. What are some narcissistic traits in both men and women that you can identify early on in order to not waste your time? I'm still trying to identify what that looks like. And does that happen in platonic relationships as well, like with your friendships with your girls or your boys? Man, excellent question.
That is a
Let's
good question.
Yeah, we're gonna lay into that one.
I
Put
think
that up.
narcissism, first off, I has to be a diagnosis by a clinical health physician. Am I right, Doc?
Yep,
Am I right for the
absolutely. And I want
therapist
to
and
just
the psychiatrist
let
here?
before, yes, that's right, right. We have
That
our
is
Keita.
that
Keita,
that's
you can
it.
weigh in
That
on that
is
and
because
real
there are
quick.
certain levels of that. Now you do have
That's
people
right.
that are
Shan.
finessers, manipulators,
Mhm.
all of
Let
that.
me give you, excuse me. Let me give the definition real quick. Excuse me. And
Please,
narcissism is a psychological trait characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance,
big
a
ego.
deep craving for excessive admiration, and a lack of empathy. So my point there, from a medical doctor standpoint, to be a narcissist, you heard that there are three components to that. You might have somebody who feels like they're a little grandiose or important. That's not a narcissist. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
You might have somebody who can't necessarily empathize, so maybe they're not a good person. Like we have nurses and doctors and techs and different people in the medical field, and you look at them and you say, "There's no way in hell they should be in the medical field. They lack empathy. They're not a narcissist." So we just wanted to. So that is an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep craving for excessive admiration, and they didn't say and or. They said and a lack of empathy. All right, come on, Shane. Come on with it.
And that is that, like we said, that has to be a diagnosis from a professional. But it's just that you know how it
Absolutely.
is with when it comes down to social media, people tend to take words
Oh,
and fly with it. And before you know it, everybody a counselor. But
that's right. But we'll go back if you wouldn't mind. Let's go. If can you go back to the Keisha's point? I think you were
okay,
gonna
so
wait.
Keisha, how do you identify a selfish person? Um, People that feel like things are all about them and they lack empathy. A lot of times that can steal from their upbringing. Um, Sometimes if you've never been down that road, you cannot. This is like a mother that lost a child, and
Hmm.
you've never lost a child. So we have to be careful with our words when people are grieving, because I can't tell you how to feel. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not empathetic, but I don't know your pain because I've never lost anyone.
Hmm.
So it depends on how that person upbringing was. Like for me, I'm a little rough around the edges. So things that may affect me may not affect you. And I have friends all the time that I always tell, I don't do pity parties.
No pity
And I
parties.
tell them, look, I'm not waiting to exhale and throwing no waiting to exhale party with you. I'm gonna tell you, you have poor choices. You're choosing this. The devil ain't always busy. Oh, the devil. So you have some people that just want to have a victim mindset. So you have to, there are certain things you have to compartmentalize to know when you even meeting people. How did you grow up? Um, what took place? And all of that, when you meet that man and that woman, manifests in their life. Um, some people just been through at once upon a time in my life, I had been through so much that I became numb.
Mm.
It's like did nobody care about my feelings. Dang your feeling. I don't care about your feeling. I don't care about how you feel. It just depends on the upbringing of that person and what they've dealt with. And then if you have some that have always been self-centered, it's
Hmm.
all about them because it was all about them when they were growing up. And I've had siblings that have same mom, same dad, different mom. And I had one of my siblings to say one time, I don't know how to be a real friend. And I didn't take it to heart when they said it. I just said, I appreciate your honesty
Hmm.
because everything was always about them.
That's
I
right.
didn't, well, I wasn't mad. It's just that that's a part of their story. So it just
Mhm.
depends on the story of that person and how they are.
Well, absolutely. Let's see, and I appreciate you sharing that as well, Shan. Um, so, Keisha, just to make sure we address, because I know we got several that have come in, and we're gonna get to everyone's question or comment. I'm still trying to identify what that looks like, and I think Shan, you did a great job of talking about that and taking us back to the origin of some of these people's issue. And this is, I think, this is so captivating because it's something that's real, something that we've all been through, and we've all had trouble. And so sometimes we've all maybe not had the most empathy, might have been selfish, and
Mhm.
we're all kind of learning how to channel that and be better. And I think all of us, that whether you've had a marriage and that failed and got divorced, or relationships that you've lost, whether it's dating relationships or just relationship with friends and that don't work out, it gives us some pause, and we really should take an introspective look at ourselves. But and yes, Keisha, you said, does that happen? Yes, it definitely does. It happens in platonic relationships as well. And the thing is, Keisha, a lot of people, the dangerous thing is they don't, especially in the minority community, because and in the South here in Mississippi, we say all you need to do is pray or go to church or fall upon your knees and go to your closet and have a prayer, and that is good. We know that Jesus here. We need him. But we also, he has blessed us with gifts and talents. He has blessed man with certain things. So here on earth, in this literal realm right here, um, we need to go to a lot of times we need to go to a healthcare mental professional, such as a therapist or psychologist, psychiatrist, because, and it doesn't mean you're crazy, but these
Mhm.
types of things we need to identify. Some people have
Right.
personality disorders, and they
Right.
wonder why. we say, man, why is it not working out for me at my jobs? Why is it not working out with my friends, in or in relationships? And a lot of time we point the finger, and because in today's Shan, everybody says narcissism, oh, they're lacking accountability. But it also may be that you yourself or we are lacking our own accountability, because
All right.
you continue to have problems. And I've had to do this myself because I've had problems with relationships, job, and you look at it and you say, well, why is it that this continues to happen? So, and sometimes it might not occur to you, and you might not get into your uh, accountability phase, until you're in your 30s, 40s, even older. So, um, no lies is all right. Let's see. What do you all diagnose? Oh, wait, y'all diagnose narcissists? Yeah, yes, we do,
Right.
Michelle. Yes, we do. But like Shan was saying, you want to go. People who are serious about their mental health, especially those of us that are in healthcare fields like Shan and myself and Dr. Ware, who's a dentist, and or either even if it's just in a job in any other field that happens to be stressful like ours, yeah, definitely you want to go to a professional for that and see. You said Dr. Ware, borderline. Yep, borderline personality disorders,
That's right.
absolutely. So Shan, Ty Patterson says, please share your thoughts on a vision board in connection with mental health. Mm,
Repeat that question again for me.
let's put it up there. Ty Patterson says, please share your thoughts on a vision board in connection with mental health. Have you seen those, Shan? People talk. Oprah Winfrey talked about it one time years ago that she knew she would be somebody famous that the world would listen to, and she
Hmm.
would write these things on her vision board. So I didn't know
Right.
if you're familiar with those things.
I would say when you tie connection to your vision board, your mental health and being intentional about who you are should be the first thing on your vision board. It
Mm,
should
okay.
because
Okay.
here's the thing about that. With the journey of life, some of us when our journey, we be like, Lord, why everything is so hard? Why is this? Because the goal is in the journey to build substance. You don't want to get prepare this vision board and get there and can't stay because you can't handle the altitude.
Wow.
But it's
Wow.
something about the substance and the things that God bring you through life that builds something up in you. I am who he say I am. I am the apple of his eye. He gives you the discernment to know even when you're going somewhere that your character and integrity is in because the simple fact of it is there are things that are going to come that will test your integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we know what Jesus went in the wilderness for them 40 days, 40 nights, he went through all of that. If
All
you be
that.
the son of man, cast his bread at the stone.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, he took him on the top and say, hey, all of this is yours. But he already knew I am the son of man. I
Mm-hmm.
have that. So that's the thing about having the substance. So with the vision board, those
Mm-hmm.
scriptures of who he say you are, those different things you need to meditate and tune and allow him to impregnate you with those things.
Mm.
Because in the journey you will give birth to them. And giving birth, if you're a woman, if you've had your birth, it is painful. It's long suffering. It's a lot of different things that you have to go through. But when you birth that thing, you love it and you will protect it at all costs. And that is a thing
Right.
when it comes down to the things that we truly want and our
Yep.
heart desire.
I couldn't agree more. Kim, big shout out all the way from my hometown, Orlando, Florida.
Right.
When it's all about them, also when they're always, yeah, okay, yeah, you were going back to the definition of narcissism, yeah, when they're always showing off. Yep, absolutely, Kim.
But
And
here's the
Keita
thing with
Humphrey.
us being grown,
Mm,
everything starts with choice.
yep, that's right.
You
I think
choose.
Michelle, that's right. Michelle, I think that's right. Shell's Kitchen said, "Oh, I see what you're saying, Shell. You were saying, wait, y'all actually diagnosed us. Okay, yeah." She was saying because, and you see, you know what's funny about that? See, Michelle said, "Wait, y'all diagnosed that." it has become so darn commonly misused that people are saying, you're just this kid. I wish Tim was on there, man. Somebody get Tim. Keisha, one of y'all, somebody get Tim. Let me see if I can send him a text. He needs to get
Tim,
on
oh, don't do that.
here. Where,
Tim, yes, Tim to come up
I,
there.
you say what now?
Oh, you'll
We
call
got to
him
get
Tim
Tim on
now.
there. There he is. Uh, watch this. Watch this. Hey man, log on right now. All your friends are on Telehealth Tuesday, and we're talking about you and how you cannot stand the word narcissism.
Man, missing dog.
Tim, that's on there. Big shout out to TCL Tax
All
Services, where
right,
his quote is.
Tim.
That's right. His quote is, "We don't just know taxes, we do taxes." That's his quote.
We don't just do taxes, we know taxes. That's
That's
it,
right.
Tim.
That's right. You know, I know him. So yeah, Michelle, and that's but so I'm glad you helped us to drive home that point because yeah, it is so incorrectly used. So Keita, who is a professional mental health professional, she says yes, that is a disorder. She said the great separator in this is the excessiveness.
Yes.
Okay, when we're talking about narcissism, oftentimes people are aware of their own perception and behaviors. Yep, and honestly, even through some things that I saw when I started some counseling later on in life, and going back now, especially post COVID, and you remember how that was, Shan, being in the healthcare industry. It was terrible. We were all depressed. Everyone was gaining weight, probably drinking a little excessively. There's that excessive word, and so that was so insightful just to go in there and hear a therapist to say, I think you're sometimes not aware of things. You're not aware of boundaries and all of that, and that was mind blowing to me because I'm going around thinking, man, I'm always giving to people. I give so much on my jobs. I give so much of my clinic. I mean, I'm getting drained literally by people and humanity and by, you know what I mean? And so I'm thinking I'm doing pretty good, you know?
But
Um,
the thing about that is iron sharpens iron. Who's
that's right.
who's filling you up after you, and that is the big thing about us as caregivers and people that love and care and has empathy and compassion. You
hmm
have so much to give, and because that's your calling. It's a part of who you are. But
hmm
who heals the healer? That's a good question. So
Wow.
when you're finding your mate, you're finding your person, they need to be all that. They need to be that. They need to be able to see that. And to be so when you're dealing with people and you're trying to find people, you have people of value, of virtue that can see and have the spiritual eye to see what you need. There's a spiritual connection besides a exterior connection. It should be in the inside. So we have to look at that when we're choosing our people and our
hmm
person, friends and platonic and relational with men.
I'm glad you threw that in there. That's right. I'm glad you threw that in there. The hardest thing about them is they have difficulty accepting criticism. Is what Kim, remind me, you're a therapist as well, right? Kim, sometimes we talk with so many folks and stuff. Remind me, I think that's your field as well. But yeah, she's saying that narcissists have difficulty accepting criticism. But also, again, we just want to point out because although that's one of the traits and it's part of the diagnostic or the criteria, the definition of this, not all people who are defensive or who cannot accept criticism are narcissists. You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
See, all the narcissists have difficulty accepting. You know what I'm saying? They all have some aspect of that. That's what defines it. But just because a person may not be able to accept criticism, they may be immature or
Mm-hmm.
they may just be flat out selfish.
True.
But that does not make them a narcissist. So I'm so glad that we have the mental health professionals on here. Dr. Webb, self checks are necessary for growth. Dee Dee Khan, we got some new folks in here. Dee
Shout out
Dee,
to my girl Dee Dee. Thank
That's
you.
you. Okay. All right. Shout out. Look, listen, all you guys, all you new followers that have come on here to see your friend, see your homegirl Shan, make sure that y'all got to click subscribe now. Don't just come on
Hit
and
that
get all this
subscribe
knowledge.
button.
You please hit the subscribe. And Shan is coming back. I was going to hold this, but since we've got a lot of people still in here live with us, Shan doesn't know it yet, but she's coming back. Keita doesn't know it yet, but she's coming on. We're going to bring everybody on. We're going to bring
Yeah,
Dr. Tanya Ware back on, and we're going to talk about more than teeth. All
that's
right.
right.
So you guys come on back. Make sure to click subscribe on Dr. BTV. Shan has some things we won't let the cat out the bag yet, but she and I talked backstage before this, and she has some ideas for a type of kind of show or something that people have been asking her to do. And so I think something may be in the works, but we
That's
won't.
it.
All right. My mom, Dr. Lily James, says, do you believe in the philosopher that opposites attract in choosing a mate?
I do
Great.
believe that.
You do
And
believe?
the reason why I say that is because everybody does not have the piece to the puzzle. And that's the thing about where you're weak, they're strong. So there are certain things about your person that you may lack and that they may have, but there are your foundational core things that can align up and that are okay. So if it's a person of good character and integrity and you are and has have good morals, there are certain things that you may be one, let's just say, Doc, you've had a few businesses and different things like that. So and things that you're doing now in the social limelight. Well, if you're here, you may have to be there, and that person, and just say that this person that you have may not really, you may not like really dealing with the people. Where, hey, my wife or girlfriend may be a great hostess. So
Hmm.
she's good at being relational where you're not. I think it brings balance. So, Miss James, I truly feel like that can happen, but I also believe that there are core parts about that person that you all align. You're just different when it comes to different things. So that
Hmm.
I can see that being a thing.
That's a great question, Mom. She's asked me that multiple times, and even on some personal levels with me. And I agree with you. I think overall, I tend to agree with you on that. That I think the people who do the same exact thing, they can have a good, lasting union or relationship or friendship. But also those what we say opposites. I think it's important to point out. And one thing that my mom used to tell me, even though people may be different, they're not necessarily opposites, because she used to always say, like, if you're outgoing and like to travel and meet new people, but somebody else is an introvert and they don't like people, or something like that, so that would be a 180-degree difference in a true opposite. um
Mm,
but maybe somebody else who likes to travel, they
right.
may not be a Shan Mac. They may not be somebody who can walk in a place and light up a room, or if you go to the cigar shop, the fellas, or if you go to the restaurant and there's some ladies sitting there, and and or if you don't meet a stranger, they may not have that type of personality, but they may be somebody who still likes to travel. So you see, those two people are not opposites. So I guess it's one of those things,
Of
but I tend.
understanding your person
Mhm.
and being comfortable with who you are. That's the goal of having a person
Yes.
that is totally opposite of you.
Hmm.
It is there is being with I'm not if you're not insecure.
Hmm.
So if you know that's the freedom
That's
of
one of my.
genuine love. That's where that freedom comes in, that of genuinely loving somebody to know that this is my person. There are people, look, he or she don't mean any harm. They just a light when they go in the room and people just gravitate to them. Hey, I love people, but I don't like people. I like to be here, but I let him shine because that's who he is, or I let her shine. And not And it's still the same. We still like to go out. It's just that you may be a little bit more lively than I am. Your light may shine a little bit, but sometimes that comes good with networking because that person
Mm-hmm.
may say, "Hey, have you met my husband or have you met him? He's da 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 this." And because of who you are, they
Mm-hmm.
tend to say, "Oh, okay, well, he's good people. Well, let me get your number." So that can bring a balance to where it can help network and bring things into the home and just make it who it is. But you just got to be confident in who you are. Both parties have to be.
Both parties, which is kind of like what I'm saying. Even though they seem opposite, but if both parties possess that, then but they're still kind of, they're still kind of similar. Like, but like they're just different in certain aspects. And key numbers. If you think about some long-lasting relationships, personally, then you may find that they are opposites. It's finding the yin to your yang. And Dr. Ware says freedom is first. I think we've got everyone's question. We'll take the last uh, two questions. If there are two questions that anyone wants to answer, please speak now, forever hold your peace. Um, in the meantime, you guys let us know, and in the comments, let us know if you guys want to see part two of this.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
episode 95. Yeah, so we have been here 95 Tuesdays in a row, Shan.
All
We have
right.
been here
That's a man of
95.
consistency, y'all. But look, there's something I'm into piggyback off of what Miss Keita said. As a woman, there's safety in that. Allowing your mate to be who they are. If they allow you to feel safe, if they allow you to feel heard, and they understand you. I remember a guy told me one time we were sitting, he said, my mom, dad been married 32 years, and every time he would go out, she would iron his clothes for him to go out. And I was like, your mother felt safe with her. She knew that he was going to take care of everything. And safety is a big thing for the nervous system.
Mm. So how do you
Safety.
if you talked about and I'm glad you brought that safety and you talked about understanding, because that's something that, again, I think all of us have struggled with. How do
Mhm.
you uh, you know if you have a friendship, or like I said, it's an actual dating relationship with someone, and even if they tell you something like that, like, hey, I don't you and this is, again, usually a woman telling a man, I don't feel uh, uh, either respected, I don't feel heard, I don't feel understood. Is there a way, and some of the therapists and mental health professionals, please weigh in, because I think a lot of us men, because we don't speak sometimes the same language as the ladies, some of us struggle with that. And I
Yeah.
think that it probably does frustrate, the other person. But I think that if you get frustrated, and I guess, man, most people, especially if you care about them, they'll probably give you a couple of times to get it right. But I think with some men, see, sometimes we can be such boneheads that unless you tell us in a demonstrative or a really, really plain, dumb it down way, you may think that you're telling him how to love you and how you feel, but really it's not getting through his thick skull. So how do we break that down, Shan, to guarantee that the ladies are being heard, respected, valued, and appreciated? All those terms and adjectives. But how do we almost like guarantee that that gets through to the man?
I think it just depends on your person and what that person is looking for. I also think that there's some spiritual things that you have to be attentive. Um, a lot of times you have to make sure that you're not trauma bonding. Um, there are a lot of times that I've seen it close up that people have this different fixation, or they may have this person here because it looks good for their status. It looks good for what they want. She's a trophy, so or he's a trophy, something that I can put on my arm to take with me. It's all about your motive, and your motive has to be pure. If your motive is to be a family person, or and if you're intentional about that person, then you're going to be intentional and truly love about how you make them feel. You're not going to want to do anything to hurt them. We can see it a lot in the dating world. I'm single. I see it a lot. Hey, you be like, oh, okay, well, a lot of times people are not through sowing their royal oats, as I say.
Hmm.
But I like that little
Wow.
keepsake of something that I can keep with me and I want to keep her. But is it truly love? Because if you truly love that person and intentional about that person, you're not going to do anything to want to hurt that person or jeopardize who it is. So you need to check your motive. It all starts back with us.
So,
Why is it that you need in this person? Because see, sometimes we can kind of get caught up in that. And if you're not hearing her, you all are not speaking the same language, meaning
mhm,
that you're not compatible. You're not ready. One of you all are not, somebody's not ready. Because
mhm,
if you're ready and you truly love that person and you're intentional about that person, you make a choice every day to be a better person for your mate and for yourself. That's a choice. It's all about choosing. So if he or she is worth all of that, I'm going to deny myself because it's always going to be somebody prettier than you, handsome than you are, more handsome than you are, a lot of different things than you. But you have to find that rare thing in that person and say, that is what I've been looking for. And I make a choice every day to love that person because you're not going to love that person every day.
mhm.
And I hear that from every time I meet somebody to say, and they say, well, I've been married 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And I always ask them, what is the secret? And what they always tell me is, you have to choose to love. Because when we first got into it, we said that divorcing was off the table.
Mm.
The, so that's the thing about
They
that.
don't make them like that
Shout
anymore.
out to my sister mom, April, to Shan. You are my witness to this safety and protection.
That's
That's
right.
correct.
Shout out to
And
April.
I was a daddy's girl. So it just depends on how you were treated, also. Some people just don't know. But when it comes down to that protection, that safety, and I'm not going to say men or women are not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And your happiness is a state of mind. You cannot put all of that on one person. You have to do the work on your
Mhm,
end, and they have to too. And we meet in the middle to say, hey, I choose you even when I'm mad
mhm.
and I don't care. And this is from people that's been married, I mean, half of a century. I ask the questions because that is the secret. It's a choice to choose every day.
Absolutely. Um, that's excellent. I want to, Chan, I'm going to take the opportunity and the privilege of asking the last questions. Why? Well, because it's my show, but I'm just, but look, I'm just joking. But look, I seriously want to know this because this is, again, something we've all struggled with, and especially in myself. I want to know what you think about, you said that if somebody makes a conscious choice, right? Because people,
Mhm.
I hear this a lot of times, and especially Steve Harvey and all the people that think they're the gurus and know everything. They say exactly what you said. Like people, it's a conscious choice to do right, to try to do better. And so, a person who cheats on you, whether it's mentally or physically or whatnot, they have made a decision to do that. Now, certainly, be careful. I am not condoning cheating. I am saying that sometimes I just don't agree with some of those points from the talking heads, the Steve Harveys, that random weird dude who used to always do stuff from his car. He would always
Oh,
record from his car with the
yeah.
muscles and stuff, but then he found out he was cheating on his wife. All the
Oh,
women love.
yeah. I know you
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, that idiot. And then of course, the opposite of him, Kevin Samuels, that all the women hated, but they just didn't like his approach. Anyway,
Kevin had some valid points, though.
very valid, but it was just the delivery that made it
Right.
impossible for people to hear sometimes. But my question is, so what are your thoughts on a person who, okay, they've either messed up, they've either said the wrong thing to you, or maybe it's a man who has cheated, or whatever it is, whatever the bad thing or the sin is. And yes, of course, if somebody didn't put a gun to his head, yeah, yes, he voluntarily, he or she voluntarily did it. But I think that sometimes people are they're aware, but still not aware of like like how you can hurt somebody or offend them. And so my question is, when you say, well, if a person chooses to do whatever it is, then maybe they're just not compatible or they're not speaking your language. Is there a way to better determine compatibility, or better, or for us, especially black men, black women, to communicate with one another instead of just throwing in the towel the first one or two times we see something we don't like? Because that's what people do. They just, oh, this ain't for me. I'm not wasting my time. And I try to tell people, especially the young ladies who do that. Oh yeah, they listen to all this tonight's conversation, and all these people who, a lot of them people on the stage are truly unhappy themselves.
That's
But
true.
anyway, and I say you're gonna be running for the rest of your life because nobody is gonna do everything that you like. So how do you determine if it's worth it to try to work through that and uh, uh, try to speak each other language, because we're two different people. So you're not going to just be so compatible that you just know all of your thoughts, all of your feelings. I know exactly how to treat you. You got to learn that sometimes.
That's
And
true.
I just thought that, like the people that have been married 30 years and all that, because we damn sure know that that ain't been no perfect marriage, and it's been some
That
cheat.
part.
So yeah, how do you? That's my question. How do you get to the point where you don't just throw in the towel and say the heck with it? And how do we get to that point where we say we value people, so even though they've hurt us, let me truly try to show them or treat them how to love me.
I, from my, I can only say for me that it's pretty much to me all about the spirit of a person. First off, we have to kind of know what we're dealing with. Now, all of us have some type of strongholds. You can have
Mhm.
lustfulness, different things like that. Some can be more intense than others because they've been through a lot of different things and those things have grew with them. So those urges come. So it just depends on, I feel like, the person and what they're looking for. What are you fighting for? Um, and also, it
Mhm.
comes between two people wanting to choose to stay. Hey, if I'm gonna make a choice to stay here, if he or she is worth me fighting in the trenches for and fighting for what we need. But that comes with some type of discernment of hearing, um, and intentionality, because when you in trauma and you're a victim, instead of being an active listener and listening to what your partner's saying, giving them time to grieve, even though I wrong you, because none of us, sometimes it's kind of like that. If you find you a woman that if she's an attention seeker, when you
Mhm.
can't give her that attention, she's gonna
Just
go out
going
and
elsewhere.
find it.
Mhm.
Same with a man. If he's dealing with certain things, when she's not, and I've heard a lot of men that are married say, hey, I love my wife. I've met some amazing guys, and they would say, but my wife is restricting the bedroom from me. She's using it as a weapon. Well, how long
Mm,
can I take before I go out here and do what I need to do? So
not
evidently
long
somebody
for a
done
man.
shut down somewhere, and she shut
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
So it's still a choice between two people. Is it worth us fighting for or not? But a
Mm,
lot of times, some of these red flags and things, we see that in the beginning, but we tend to
mm,
we tend to sweep it under the rug. So it's just like a kid. We can see things, and if we don't discipline that kid in certain areas, those things grow up with them where they don't respect authority, they don't respect certain things. And I think that's what happens is we see these red flags with these people, and then we just, I'm one, once I see the major red flags, I know that that person is not for me, because I know eventually that's gonna be a bump in the road. That's gonna be something that's just a no go. Now,
mm,
it just depends on the person. So I really truly can't answer that, Doc, because all of us are different. We
mm,
all know what we want and what we need. But I do know this. I do know that once the respect is gone, there's no getting that back. You can always get trust back. You can
mm.
always love and learn to grow to love that person again, even if you fall in and out. But once their respect is gone from seeing different things, that I don't think that'll ever come back.
Okay. And the last, Keita Humphreys, I would love for you to weigh out. Yeah, I think you're still on there. I sneak this one in. I was gonna save it for for part two, but this is something that I've personally seen and heard and seen from friends and all that. And people talk about the term space. Is there a such thing? Is there a such thing as having space from someone? It's used a lot. I've heard it a lot in different, capacities and everything. Is there a such thing as space? And if so, is that even healthy in relationships and/or marriages? You can please feel free to weigh in and with your personal opinion, Shan and Keita Humphreys, and any other mental health professionals, because it's something that I have my own feelings on. Probably something that I didn't, disagree with, but I know that some people talk about letting time and all that stuff. If you love something, you throw it away and it'll come back to you and all that crap. I say, listen, if you got to do all that, what's the point of doing that? Who's going to be playing that game? But
But
then
Doc,
people had to come back to me and tell me that, well, sometimes it's not necessarily about it being a game. Sometimes at the time it is truly bad timing, or sometimes the person is like not healed and don't recognize that until, and so they need that space to work on themselves. And then there's the other school of thought that says, well, especially if somebody's getting ready to be married or married, especially in like that, well, what kind of space you talking about? Because we've already made a commitment. So I would love Akita Humphreys to weigh in specifically, and any other mental health professional, and whoever else want to weigh in. But it's and also you as well, Shan. So your thoughts on space? Is it something that can be helpful, or is it a bunch of hogwash? What say you?
well, in the words of my friend girl, DD Conlon, used to tell me all the time, you cannot cut somebody and then tell them how to bleed. So if there's been some things that have happened in your life, in that relationship, you
Mm-hmm.
have to give that person space to grieve. You can't tell people how long to grieve. You cut them. So basically, you're a medical professional.
Mm-hmm.
Just say you pay average, because you don't even know she's taking blood thinner, and I can cut her. You cut a person on blood thinner, they can bleed out. It
Bleed
just depends on that person. But the space of giving them the grace to grieve and to do whatever they need to do after the hurt, after whatever happened, you owe that to them. And
out.
in my personal opinion, I think it's selfish to like, no, we not, no, you can't do that.
It's selfish to say no. We're not. Would you
That's
just say
right, Keita.
any live? Yeah, but let's go back to what you just said. No, it would be selfish to what? To either make them stay or for them to go and think about themselves. What you mean?
Keita said any living organism needs space to grow.
Space to grow. But what were you saying though? You said that would be selfish to what? To force a person to stay or to not? Or what you mean?
So I, because if a betrayal has happened,
Yes.
evidently something has happened to make that person feel that way. Give them the space they need to grieve.
Okay. She said, it is very healthy. And then Keita Humphrey says, now does that space include leaving the home? No. So,
Yeah,
okay, Keita. So I'm glad you brought out
that's
that
good.
defining. Yeah. So we're talking in a marriage.
In a minute.
So and what I sound like you're saying as well, Shan and Keita, this can be something that's good for it or helpful or whatnot.
Marriage, right.
But in a marriage, you not leaving the home. Now, if we're not
Right.
talking about marriage, yeah, then that's a different type of space. She says it is very healthy. Dr. Ware says, I would not call it space, but if you are with an introvert, they may need me time from time to time. If you love your mate and freedom is a priority, then you know that your mate needs self care.
I'm with you,
Octavia
Dr. Weir.
Simmons. Yeah, absolutely. Octavia, good to see you. We're glad you joined. I was wondering if you were going to be on there.
Right,
Good to see
Xavier.
you. Yeah. It's only effective if the two have a plan. What are you going to work on during that space? What is the plan to bring the relationship back together? I love it.
That's a good
Shan,
questions. Those are good
that's
questions.
great question. Keita agrees. All right. So look, I know we're over the time. Thank y'all for staying with us. Listen, everyone that's on here under the sound of my voice, please Make sure Dr. BTV, DOCTOR, the letter B as in boy, TV on YouTube. Share, tag, like, follow, and click subscribe. We're coming back with part two.
That's
Two
it.
this way. Two this way.
To be
No, this way.
continued.
Okay. To be continued, and it's going to be soon. It's going to be soon. Keita Humphreys, please reach out and send your contact information, or if you, Shan has it, we want to get in touch with you. We're going to put this together, and it's going to be featuring Keita Humphreys, Shan Macklin, Kanoy Brown, and possibly Dr. Latanya Ware.
That's right.
Let's hit 4 or 5 of us on there. It's going to be amazing. We're going to do a special Telehealth Tuesday. So please do that. Click subscribe. Good Faith Wellness Center. If you have a primary care provider, or if you don't have PCP, come see us. If you have insurance, great. We take them all. If you don't, we have plans. $99 unlimited for in single individual, $179 for couples, $229 family of 4. That's cheaper than your cell phone bill. All right. And we want you to know, Shan Mack, where can they find you? What are you working on? What would you like the audience to know before we get out of here?
Well, I am working on my podcast, Living Single with Shan Mack, and it's all about healthy relationships and building strong bonds with yourself, getting yourself together so you can get ready for your next. So you can hit me up on the platform at Shantwanna Shantae on TikTok, Shan Mack 82 on Instagram, and hey, of course, here, Shantwanna Shantae on Facebook. And we're working on something, so just be continued. It's to
And
be
well, look,
continued.
thank you so much, Shan, for coming and donating your time and expertise. And thank you to the audience. Give yourself a round of applause. We are here each and every Tuesday. So, look, if you want to hear from anyone else, if you want to be a guest on the show, please let us know. Don't hold this great information to yourself. This has been a fantastic audience. Again, we'll be here live next Tuesday. And another amazing guest. I don't want to tell you who it is. You got to go to Dr. B TV, click subscribe, and you'll find out who it is. So, God willing, we'll see you always on a Tuesday. Shan, stay behind with me. If you'll just hold on, I'm going to run the credits and just stay where you are. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bring a friend with you, okay?
That's
All
it.
right.
Bring a friend, tell a friend.
That's right. So this is not bye for now. This is only see you next time. And that next time will be Tuesday. So remember, true wealth begins with good health. See you next time. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt.